Hello, my name's James, pointer and shooter behind the project to Portrait of a Wrestler, and I welcome you to this, our latest video, taking you back to the Rushcliffe Arena in Nottingham, looking at WrestleGate's first promoted show with the match between Mckinnon and Millie Mckenzie. We've strapped a GoPro to the top of my Canon 5D with a 24-105 lens. I spent a little bit of time before this match just taking the entrances from the back of the arena, giving the promoter to work with something for future shows so that the fans can see what the arena looks like, what the feel looks like for the whole event to promote the event going forward. So we missed the entrances at Ringside, but we did manage to get them from this perspective here. We joined the action a couple of minutes in. I've placed myself underneath one of the turnbuckles in the corner and we're doing some exchanges. Here we go. Mckinnon there, Millie Mckenzie sharing exchanges right in the middle of the ring, just trying to get a good perspective, good low angle on this one here. Right underneath that bottom rope, waiting for a German suplex or submission or something to come in here. And then eventually, after Millie fails to put that submission on, roll through, off the ropes, head scissors, bang, there we go. Now, we managed to capture that here with this shot. Right on there with Millie just touching the canvas with her elbow there, but everything else sort of in mid-flight. Now, in order to get this shot, the arena was set up with a lighting rig, but the lighting rig only had sort of 8 fairly small LEDs on them, 4 for each side of the ring. It did give us a nice moody lighting. It did make the background nice and dark, which focused our attention on the ring, but ultimately it didn't hit a lot of light on the ring. So our ISO is up to 12,800 here. F4 nice and wide on that 24-105 lens, but most importantly, the reason why we've used the high ISO is so that we can use a faster shutter speed, 1/500th of a second here. There's still a little bit, tiny bit of motion blur on there, but not much. It's still more or less has frozen that action, so we've managed to get a nice, clean, crisp shot. Onto the next one. So the action returns. I've popped myself up a little bit, up into sort of between that middle and bottom rope there. Waiting to see what Millie's going to do here, and boom! Another sort of Hurricane Rana almost style sort of takedown there from the top rope, which gives us this shot here. Again, just trying to capture that action and freezing that action as much as we can in the low light scenario. But once again, shooting in RAW so that we can post-process the images and hopefully remove some of that grey. Next shot here, moving on, drop kick, boom, and go for the pin. Only a 2 because we're super early in a match. Millie adjusting her hair, and then we're ready for a short exchange, which is sort of about to happen next. There we go. Strikes, the kicks to the chest, and we're perfectly positioned in this corner to sort of capture these, which eventually gives us this shot here. Millie right on the point of connection, so we're just trying to take a couple of shots going into every kick so that we know that one of them at least is going to eventually sort of hit the mark and give us the image that we want. Then we move on to here, a little face off, and luckily, there we go. We've just turned enough, and it's kicks to Millie this time. We turned ourselves into, we caught that one there on the horizontal here, which is proper full-on contact there with the great expression from both guys there. And then you'll see that we flipped it round to portrait here to capture this image here of the look on Millie's face as the kick has been caught. And then just a very quick turn around after we're back on the floor, turn around into landscape and bang! My goodness, do we see that? Lucky to capture this one, but it's under the bottom rope again, and there we are. Knee right to the face. Poor old Millie there. But again, that high shutter speed allowing us to freeze the action there. Moving on. Big roundhouse kick, I think we missed that. Elbow to the back of the head we got, but everyone's facing away on that one, so it's not the best angle for us to get it. No angle on the pin here because of the referee position, which is fine. Referee's there to do the job, which is way more important than the photographs. But then hopefully he's moved himself back round to the other side here. And we're just moving on. We see a lot of ring rope there, but that's because I'm trying to get as close to the action as possible. And there, just ducked underneath that ring rope. Just to get this image here. Referee standing over Millie with that look of pain etched on her face, and MK standing over, trying to tell stories. So much of the action that we capture in ringside, the important stuff, is the stuff that happens between the moves, not the moves themselves. The moves only happen for a fraction of a second, but a really, really good professional wrestler will be allowing you to take great pictures in between the action, which is what you really want to be looking for. That's storytelling. Moving on now. Kick. And then this one here, another kick, and look at this. Oh, wobble, wobble, wobble. There we go. Millie, after that one off the ropes, wobbling to the mat and just basically responding to that move on the one knee here, on the landscape, and just the lights are on, but no one's home, falling slowly to the canvas there. Important in all of these images so far as well, we've got the WrestleGate branding in the middle of the ring there, which is helping sort of trademark the show and give it extra value. Moving on here, so the pin attempt wasn't good enough. Poor old MK, he's got to keep on doing a wrestle. So has Millie. Little look into the camera as he sort of comes around there. And then what we've got here is a short exchange coming up as Millie starts to fight back, and the bang, and the bang, and another hit there. And it was that hit there, that third one. I managed to see what was going on. She hit that punch, those forearms, and on the third time, low angle, and we've zoomed in a little bit here, not kept on the wide angle, zoomed in to get this shot with the aggression, the contact, and everything in there, and the backlighting as well in Millie's hair, which is just making everything look and feel even more dramatic. Off the ropes, held on. Millie goes over. Oof, forearm to the face, and there, just that little reaction there from MK. We managed to zoom in nice and close and just get this shot here of him charging into Millie to deliver that high boot. So moving on after that exchange, Millie's out of the ropes. MK goes for the pin, only get to 2. And we work our way around here. There we go, just there. Raise the camera up, move ourselves to the middle between the 2 corner posts just to get this reaction shot here, and a nice long focal length to get this reaction shot of MK looking in despair at the missed 2 count again, just trying to tell stories of the reactions that the wrestlers are giving to us in the ring. We're going to move on a couple of minutes here to this point in the match. An exchange of German suplexes, the first, and we flip the camera around to portrait to get each of these exchanges and the eventual submission there put on. So the first one here is an attempt by Millie. We've raised our camera level up so that we're getting that WrestleGate logo and branding in. And then the exchange there again, just with the desperation on Millie's face, filling the frame, just giving the promoter something different to work with. So you've got portrait and landscapes within there. Moving it back to the video. As the submission's locked in, try and move around to this corner here, but there's no angle on it. There's no faces there for me to photograph, nothing in it really. Back of the head kick. It's all offense, offense, offense. Suplex. But again, it's difficult to get the suplex again when you actually land them and when you actually shoot them. Bang, another one. They're quite flat. And they don't give you the shots that you're looking for unless you're on a perfect side angle to really get the archway. And all these suplexes are just coming straight to me. So all I'm doing is I'm just shooting the top of people's heads. So I can't get a great shot on there. But what I can get, and I can be ready for, is this. The reaction spot. Millie hyping herself up, and wow, there. And that's the shot. Her opponent down in front, slightly out of focus because the focus has been pulled onto her. We're telling a story about her aggression, about her momentum, about the change in this match of her beaten down opponent in front of her. So even if there's not an angle on something, there's always something you can do. You just got to look somewhere else to get your shot within the match, and don't bemoan the fact that you're not shooting perfect German suplexes because you weren't in the right place. Exchange here into the spear. Cover. Spear only gets 2. I then move myself around to this corner to get another reaction shot there. And that was only there for a fraction of a second. It wasn't there long. But MK just rolls over towards the corner that I've just moved to. So I've got him full face this time. And I've got this despairing, exhausted Millie Mckenzie in the background looking to continue her fight there and continue her struggle. Then we move the video on to this point in the match here, just warming up for the submissions. MK locks the submission on here. I'm side on. I'm not getting reactions. Millie pulls him down for the pin. Only a 2. I'm up between the middle and the bottom rope here, slightly higher angle. She hooks it in this time and eventually drags him to the canvas, and we've got a perfect shot here with the logo in the foreground and the submission eventually there. We turned it around to portrait to fill the frame, and there it is. Limbs, hands, feet, everything everywhere, and the tapping out on the chest there, and the look of absolute desperation in Mckinnon's face. Now, the end of the match is the end of the match. Essentially, it's the result, but it's by no means the end of the story, and by no means the end of what you should be looking to capture when you're working ringside. Millie there down in the ring being looked at by the referee. She's down, there's no shot there, so I get under that bottom rope, swing the camera around to MK Mckinnon, back to Millie, just looking to see who's going to react first, and eventually I see that it's MK, and that's the shot there. Just with him looking across, holding on to himself. He's just poured a bottle of water over himself, so we've got little water droplets that actually look like tears in his eyes, which is quite cool. Background all knocked out of focus, the focus entirely on the loser there. And then telling the story in the other corner as we move the video on to Millie with her hand raised as the winner. Zoomed in again, low angle, the victor and the winner of the match. And that's how we capture things ringside. Always looking to anticipate different things, using different focal lengths to capture different motions, different reactions, looking for the gaps between the moves to help tell the story, and not quitting when the bell sounds at the end, looking for that extra shot to help sort of tell the story and detail the victor and the loser and their stories within the match. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have enjoyed it, why not tell someone about it? Someone who's a wrestling fan, someone who's a photography fan, someone who's a fan of both, someone who's a fan of neither. It doesn't really matter. You can hit the subscribe button below. You can follow me on the Instagram and the Twitter. It's at Y2JimBob. It's portrait of a wrestler everywhere else, and as ever, all the very best.